Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Vincent Meza, and this is Listings to Leads. And I think you've been hearing about a little bit. I think a few of your agents have been using our system, and this is going to be the intro kind of rollout call. So, first of all, Listings to Leads is an advertising platform. It is designed for real estate agents, and there are times when you have listings, and there are times when you don't have listings. And this is designed for all of those times. There are tools for social media. There are tools for print for your geofarm markets. There are tools that you can copy and blast out on your CRM. There's just a lot. And all these tools are designed to capture either buyer leads or seller leads. Okay, so there's a lot of models out there, a lot of great companies that have been around, and you might be used to spending hundreds of dollars or even thousands of dollars a month for 20 to 30 leads, and then there's always some question of ROI on that, right? And I certainly get that question on a daily basis because people are kind of unhappy with that model. This model is a little more hands-on. There are a lot of tools in here. This can quickly feel overwhelming, but the point of this call and some other resources to help you navigate it. But there's really, I think, for a realtor to get their arms around a couple of processes and a few serious tools that you use consistently will literally help your business grow. Even as the market has changed, we're seeing lots of great success across the country. So it should really be helpful for you. I'm going to answer a question that Marcus was asking me this morning about conversion, right? So if you're not used to lead gen, you might be surprised at the volume of leads you can get. And that can be really exciting for a lot of agents, but you actually don't earn anything until you convert a lead. And so you have to kind of be thinking positively about that. And I'm going to kind of mention one thing. For buyer leads, running ads on Facebook is probably the smartest thing you can do. And I'll show you how to do that. For seller leads, there are some print tools that are the smartest things you can do. There are other things you can do, and we'll talk about that. But this is just straight buyers, straight sellers. What's the top things you can do? But for a long time, a lot of people have thought, oh, online leads are not very useful, and all this and that. And you do have to have a conversion plan in place, just for, a little dose of reality. It's highly unlikely you're going to capture a lead today and have them in your office signing anything in 24 to 48 hours. That is just not reality. That's, I think, what a lot of realtors feel like. And if they call a lead and don't get the response they want, they feel like, that's a horrible lead. And that's just unrealistic. And so it's a good question that Marcus asked about how do you convert, right? To give you an example of what's going on right now, this is in our mastermind group, and I'm going to play this for you.
And I ran a listing to leads ad a few weeks ago for an open house that I had coming up. And from that $30 ad campaign, I got 3 active buyers in my immediate neighborhood from it, and 1 seller lead, which I just had a successful listing appointment with.
Yeah, so I think that's an outlier, and sometimes we don't like to look at like, oh, that's just one person, but literally, like, that is about a month ago. That's in Maryland. That is a lady running an ad on Facebook for $35 for 7 days and has 3 active buyers and 1 listing from that. So if you think that, and what I'm trying to suggest here is, if you're thinking that online lead gen is not worth it, I think you'd be very mistaken. We have a lot of clients who are using our tools and getting there. And so what do you do when you get a lead? We email it to you. I'm going to show you where you can connect your CRM and drop in there automatically. Specifically speaking about lead generation and how to convert it, this is what I think everybody should do. And Listings to Leads is going to help our clients get there because we're building it out ourselves. But this is what you should do. In the first 3 to 4 days, you should be texting and emailing that client probably 2 to 3 times a day. I know you're all busy people, and you should sort of lead with that. Like, hey, I saw that you're checking that apartment out or that home out, and I am doing something helping another client. Can I help you? And doing that from text and email, and some people will actually use things like bomb, like, hey, I saw that, and there you go. What I want to really caution against is, if you've ever heard the concept, speed the lead, meaning you need to call that person in 5 seconds. I don't know about you, I have like this really fancy Google phone, and if somebody calls me that I don't know, well, I answer it a lot of times, but I get these flags that say it's telemarketer or it's spam. But I think a lot of people don't want to talk to people who they don't know, right? And so imagine that they saw something that you put somewhere, it's online or it's in print or something, and they type something in because they wanted an answer, and boom, you're calling it, right? Usually the response is, just in case you don't know this video called lead, is I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're talking about, right? They did respond. They know they gave their phone number, but they're just not prepared to be talking to a random person. That's why emailing and texting is great to build that comfort level, to say, hey, I'm a professional. I'm helping other clients right now. And can I help you? I saw that. And then every day, if remember I said do this for 3 to 4 days, every day you're asking them, hey, is there something else you need? Are you looking for homes in that community? Is that your price range? That normal kind of realtor stuff, you do that on text and email. And you keep repeating that you are out helping people right now, but you want to make sure that their needs are taken care of. That is the best way to get a person to learn about you, to be comfortable with you, and to take a phone call with you, which ideally leads to an appointment with you. So that's lead conversion. And yeah, you should definitely know how to convert leads. We'll be building that. We actually have a follow-up system here. I'll show it to you in a bit, which is a drip campaign. So as we're in listings to leads, here's what you have to think of as an agent. Listing marketing, right? And listing marketing has a lot of components. I'm going to show you that. Running ads, you can run ads with our system on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. PDF guides, there are 80 PDF guides in every one of your accounts. 40 are for home buyers and 40 are for home sellers. And I'm going to show you all the ways that you can get those out on the market. You are branded on every page of every PDF guide. Okay. So if you think of that as like an information resource for people interested in buying and selling a home, that really sets you apart because there's a lot of content there. There's a cool social media content section, which we put really cool, colorful stuff on your social media account so you don't have to. And then there's landing pages and there's client reviews. Some of this stuff like client reviews, I'm going to show you how to do it. You can kind of set it and forget it. But the other things are the areas where you need to work, okay, where you actually do need to consistently on a weekly basis. If you spend an hour or two working in this every week, your business would probably double year over year. I've had clients triple their business in 2 years by putting in 2 hours a week on this system. And I have clients doing all kinds of things in between, right? And I'll show you the things that need to be done. So this call is about 60 minutes long, and I've almost finished my first cup of coffee. So I'm going to start going pretty quickly here, and you're likely not going to remember everything that I say. And I won't be able to go in deep detail. And so what I want to point out first is this YouTube channel that I showed you where this lady is talking about how things are working for her. On this page here on videos, I'm going to email this to Carrie, and it's going to have a link here, and I want you to see what I want you to see. On the top here is a call that says get started. And that's kind of what our call is. Our call is actually a hybrid of get started, Facebook and Google ads, and top tools to get more listings. I do these calls every 2 weeks. We do these calls every week. So if you want more listings, you probably should watch the video that's called Top Tools to Get More Listings. If you really want to understand how to get leads, buyers and sellers off of Google, well, sounds pretty clear there. And then Get Started gives you a whole story of what's going on. Down here, my partner Scott is doing a 8-part course that I recommend to every agent on how to make $250,000 in real estate. And it's a very broad discussion of overall how you should market and where does listings to leads fit in there. So you're going to get this link, and we'll just save it here for a little while. And another great resource is our mastermind group. And our mastermind group is a private group online. And I'm going to send a link right now to all of you. It should be blinking in your little Zoom chat thing there. And if you click on that link and go there in the next 48 hours, you will be in the group. If not, on the support page, you can ask the support team, hey, can you get me in the mastermind group? These are 2 great resources I definitely recommend. And then there's one, which is called leadgenwebinars.com. And here, this is where you sign up for our live classes. So if you want to kind of ask questions, our live classes are good, right? If you don't have time for our live classes, because our schedule is not the same as yours, then go to our YouTube channel where every class we do, we record, and it's there, okay? And you will see on this that you can watch Facebook and Google ads, top tools for more listings, and get started. So it is the same concept. These concepts are really everything that you need to know is actually in here. It's in these 3 classes. So let's kind of get on with it. I want to start first with I'll kind of point out more resources and what you need to do when you get started. When you log in, you'll be on your Get Started page. There are some playbooks here. And if you're anybody, if you're new to this and you want to kind of know what you've got, I would recommend 2 playbooks. This one here that is just listed advertising. Now you can sign up for the webinar, you can watch the recorded webinar, or you can download this checklist. And I think as you're getting started, having a few print resources in front of you to kind of remind you of everything that you've got. Because remember how I said, hey, if you put in an hour or 2 a week, this is going to help you know what you need to do, right? That particular one is for when you have a home that's for sale. These 2 down here are great if you want listing leads. And it says right there, bestseller leads and mid-funnel leads, seller guides. So I definitely recommend you download that one, and that one, and just keep it on your desk because it's going to remind you of, hey, I need to get in there and do these things. So let's talk about setup. On your profile, which is down here at the bottom left, you can access your profile, right? And make sure your picture is there. What I really want you to do is come here to auto posting, and it'll look like this, and you'll need to click here, and it will take you. I'm going to click mine now. It's gonna take me if it's going to work for me. Okay, good. It's going to take us to Facebook, and it's going to say, is that you? Is this you? And it will be log in as whoever clicks it. My name is Vincent Meza. So I'm not going to say yes, but if I did, the next page would be, what business page do you want? And you want to choose all of your business pages that are related to real estate. If you have community pages, you can choose those 2. And so that's what you do when you get to, my mouse is acting really weird today. That's what you do when you get to your profile and you get to social media auto posting. Sorry, I'm trying to get there. And what this does is we'll auto post your listings to Facebook, to Twitter, to LinkedIn, and to Instagram. We also auto generate a virtual tour, and we post that to YouTube. And we put it on our YouTube, but if you go over here to the listings, there's a place where you can connect your YouTube channel. And I recommend you connect to your YouTube channel because it's really great in a listing presentation for you to say, yeah, I create a virtual tour and I put it on the #2 website in the world, which is YouTube. So I would take those steps to turn all this social media on because basically it's all got lead capture and landing pages behind it, and it just takes a lot of work off of your hands. We also, if you click on Property Valuation Plus, you can turn on automated home value posts. So there will be a landing page there. It'll go out to your social media accounts for the people that follow you. We also have a landing page for down payer assistance and new construction. And so I would turn all these on and just have some free lead capture going to your social media. Now, there's a tab over here that says CRM integration, and I'm not sure, but do you all use the same CRM or are you all using different CRMs? Can anybody answer that question?
There
Yeah,
is a Apex CRM that we have access to, but you can still choose your own CRM. So some agents have their own CRM or some teams have different ones than the one that's provided.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and we just signed up Close this morning at an enterprise account level for, about 11 people. And they do not have a direct API connection with you, but I did want to talk to you about that, sidebar. But right now it just scrapes your email notifications and it auto creates the follow-up and the contact and all that stuff.
So then that means that you have a unique email address for each agent. And that if you email a lead to that email address, they'll scrape it and they'll drop it in your CRM. And so when you find that email, put it right here in this box that says lead forwarding email and save it. And that will tell us send your leads there. And you'll see some APIs over here. If you're using those, great, click there and follow these steps. And otherwise your CRM might also, have a forwarding email. So set that up on your profile. And that's kind of all you got to do there. If you don't have a CRM at all, there is a drip campaign here under the word follow-ups. And I don't think any of you are going to need it, but I'll just let you know. We made this in-house. It has a very high open rate. We've compared this with a lot of CRMs and our clients have done it as well for us. So these drip campaigns, one, get opened, and two, actually help people close appointments. And so when we talked in the very beginning about how to convert a lead, it's email them and text them, right away. And this has a little bit of that. We'll refine this and make this stronger. But if you have CRMs, definitely connect those. And the other thing that I think you want to do is go to client reviews, which is here. And here, you can add a review. We could import reviews right now from a company called Zillow, because they're one of the few with APIs to do that. We're also working on Testimonial Tree right now. And so if you've got reviews on those platforms, you can just import them, right? And there'll be a little logo and stuff, and that will happen. But you can also add reviews manually. And I definitely recommend that if you're collecting them on Google or Facebook or Yelp or wherever, because we actually create a website that showcases all of your reviews. And it also has links to your favorite, landing pages to capture leads. Your reviews would be above these, but this isn't really turned on yet. Also, all of the listings in your account are on this same page, right? So right now I'm logged in as the office, and so every listing in the office is showing on this page, right? But you might have 2 or 3 listings. One might be sold, one might be just listed, you might have an open house. So all be here. And if somebody clicks on this, we're going to drive them to a single property website that we designed for you automatically. And this here has kind of everything you want on the home. It's got the photos, it's got PDF guides that they can download if they give you their contact info. It's got print brochures. It even asks what's your home worth. And then it's got this call to action. If anybody clicks continue with Facebook, we're going to grab their name and email and deliver it to you. Your reviews would also be on this page, which is good for you because if you're selling a home, you want people to know how awesome you are, and that's where your reviews help. That's why it's good to go to this reviews page and manually put them in there, and then they'll start going out and you can use those. I definitely recommend if you have reviews, as you get them, you copy this link right here at the top, the web address, and you go over to Facebook, and that's where you tag your client and thank them for their review, right? And I'm sure you know that if you tag your client, their friends and family are going to see this, and they're going to know that you were their realtor, right? And you want to sugarcoat that. I'm just copying and pasting here. You probably want to say, hey, thank you for, wonderful to work with you, and I hope you love the home, and all those great things. So that's just reviews. You kind of want to set that. You don't have to work there too long. But there's a landing page section here too. And this one, you need to set this up, okay? And you get 3 landing pages automatically. And I think some of them work just like they are. The one I want to talk about specifically is this one, which is free home values. And that's because if you want listings, this is going to be your key page where people can drop in their address and get their instant valuation as long as they give you their email address. So I think like your core areas, Colorado Springs, and I'm sure you're working, adjacent areas. And I've been to Colorado Springs, and I don't think I would have imagined that there's a street that looks like that in Colorado Springs. And so you want to make sure when you're asking people for their address and contact information online, if they don't know you, and most of the times they're not, that you make sure that this landing page looks like something they're going to recognize so that they actually trust you, right? It's the first step of trust is like, hey, does this look like your area that we're talking about? And there's a lot of great places in Colorado Springs and in your towns that you can just upload an image right here, make sure it's 1800 to 2000 pixels wide, and we'll replace that standard one that we have and pop it in there, okay? Once you've done that, we'll talk about all the ways that where it shows up. But one place that you definitely want to be taking advantage of is print marketing, right? We create letters for that to drive people to that landing page. We create postcards and we create door hangers. I think the letters are the best things to do. When we talk about this, I'm going to give you another example of another tool that does this. These don't generate a lot of leads, but they generate high quality leads, high quality listing leads. So one more thing about these pages is I've only shown you one. If all of your listings, it's called Property Valuation Plus. If all of your listings are only going to be in Colorado Springs, well, you just need one of these, right? And it needs to say Colorado Springs. It's like this. And you click create a landing page. But if you've got another one over there in Denver, and you've got another one over there in another town, you need to create a landing page like this for every one of those towns. And when we do this, this is when it gets super generic. I remember when we bought this photograph I'm going to show you, we kind of thought, oh yeah, everybody has a cup of coffee and a computer, and that's cool. I think most people do today have a cup of coffee and a computer, but this does not speak anything to your area, and that's why you definitely need to get people to be comfortable, and a picture of something is significant. I'm going to show you, and I'll stop harping on this. I set up Summit, New Jersey Coldwell Banker a few years back, and we had a call just like this. And a month later, the owner called me and said, "Oh, Vince, we've got all kinds of leads. It's awesome." And the cool thing is the #1 home value ad that we run has a picture of the Summit Diner in the back, right? And you can kind of imagine what the Summit Diner is. It looks kind of like a railroad car, and you get your greasy potatoes and eggs and all that. And this town is 25,000 people. And if you know Summit Diner, you know Summit, New Jersey. And that's really what I'm trying to impress upon you, is you need to let people know, if you're going to ask them, can I have your address and contact information, that you at least are from their area. Okay. Just an FYI, a nice, cool, $1 million mansion does not instill that confidence. It is something that realtors like to put in the back, but it doesn't actually do that. So get a landmark. That's really all you need. And have a landing page for Property Valuation Plus for every farm market that you want to have. If you want, you can create landing pages for FSBOs, for iBuyer, for expireds, for growing families, for empty nesters. There's all kinds of templates. They're just ready. All you need to do is type in the name of the town and click create. And as I said, you click on the advanced options, there are going to be some print areas for you to get people to those landing pages. Okay. Now, we're still kind of in setup, because the one thing that you haven't done yet and that we haven't talked about is connected to Facebook for running ads. And one thing I want to repeat is the fastest, cheapest, easiest way to get buyer leads in real estate is on Facebook. But you do need to connect there. And then I'll show you another account where we actually are running ads, and then we'll see that all together. Another area that you need to go is right here. It says social. Now, social is also going to ask you to connect to Facebook. And so when you're setting up, you might think, I already did this. I already connected to Facebook. Well, we actually have 3 or 4 API patches with Facebook, because we're doing different things, many different things for you. So if we're asking you to connect to Facebook, please just connect to Facebook. There'll be a point where we just stop asking you. So here it's saying, hey, let's connect your social media accounts. And once you've done that, we're going to say, great, how often do you want us to post? You could have it every other day. You could have it once a week. You could have it every day of the week. And then we ask you, what topics do you want? And this is where the content is, right? We actually, I don't know if you ever heard of a company called like Keeping Current Matters. It's pretty, reputable company, charging 50 or 60 bucks a month to just put content on your social media accounts. And we've looked at that content, and from our perspective, it's fairly stale. It's kind of like industry specific and boring, and we're just not into that. If you click into these eyeballs, whenever you see an eyeball, this is going to tell you like, hey, go and see more, right? We've written all kinds of articles, and they're kind of conversational, right? They're not deep industry essays about what's happening in real estate. They're like, hey, what's happening with kitchen design? For some reason, it's not showing the picture here, but you would actually see what this thing looks like. It might be because we're not connected to social media. You don't really need to go through here and read all these. I know that there are realtors who don't sleep, and you might want to read every one of those, and that's cool. Or you can just turn it on and let us post it to you on the days that you want us to post. Another important thing that everybody should turn on this page is, let me get us there again, these top 2 PDF guides. Okay, now we haven't talked about our PDF guides yet, but we have 80 of them. I'm going to show them to you in just a moment. 40 are for sellers and 40 are for buyers. We even have them in Spanish. And so if you want us to auto post these to your social media account so you don't have to, just click that circular button on each of these and click save. I definitely recommend that you turn those on. If you're working in Spanish, turn those on. And pick the ones here that mean anything to you, right? Here's some inspirational quotes. Here's outdoor living stuff, right? Make it suit your personality. That way you don't have to do this. I will email this to all of you, this recording. So somebody's asking here. I'll email it to Carrie, and she'll, I'm sure, send it to all of you. So that's social content. Over here, we've connected ads. Now we've set up everything, right? It's a little bit slower because I'm kind of talking a little too much. You can really do your setup in about 5 to 10 minutes. And at that point, now you really can focus on what you are going to be doing, which is marketing listings, marketing your PDF guides, and your ads. You will be marketing landing pages as well. So let's get into how do we do that. Let's go to listings first. And remember how in the beginning I said, hey, you should download a couple of these playbooks. There's also something that you should download right here on this page, and it's at the top of the page. It says create listing presentation. So as soon as you can, get in your account and print this and leave it on your desk. And when you go to a listing presentation, print out another copy and give it to them. You might want to put it in like one of those cool binders. I'm sure Office Depot or somebody has something really cool as a solid leave behind, right? Let's look at it real quickly. And as we get into listing marketing, normally, your picture is going to be here where that house is. This is 27 pages talking about what we do to market a listing. It doesn't talk about listings to leads. It talks about you, the realtor. This one is talking about Carrie because I'm logged in as Office, but each one of you has this, and your picture and your contact info is on every one of these. And you should be able to speak to this, right? It talks about all the things we do with social media. It talks that we can run ads. It talks about YouTube. It talks about print, just all the things that we do. And I'm going to show you all that, right? And you're going to get your arms around this. It's going to make a little more sense once we see it all. But with everything that we do, and we've been doing this for 13 years, I don't think there is another company that has as many tools or many opportunities to market a home, and definitely not as many ways of capturing leads. And you might not think of real estate advertising or being a realtor as like capturing leads, but those are actually those are the people you're buying and selling to. And so when your listing hits here, we got all kinds of ways to capture leads, to market this home and capture leads. So let's look at a few of the ways. What I want to point out is your listings usually hit the system when they're just listed. You should market your homes when they're just listed. I don't know if you can when they're coming soon. I know there's rules about that. You can certainly do that. You should market if you have an open house, and you should market again as soon as you sell the home. And the things that you should do, I'm about to show you right here. Now, if you like lists, and I've talked about a couple of list things you can download. You can download the checklist right here, and you might want to do that. It's almost like this one here. So I come here every day, so I don't really need a list, but you might need one just to get off the ground. The first thing you can do is run an ad on Facebook. Now, we're not connected, so I can't show you. It's literally like when you click that blue button there, Facebook, your ad is written over here, and you click one green button and your ad is created. It's very fast, very simple. We get leads with name, email, and phone number. And that's kind of where that story comes from of this lady who I was showing you earlier, who in Maryland ran an ad for 35 bucks. And she was like, yeah, I got 3 active buyers and I have one listing from one $35 ad, right?
Hi, my name is Lauren Wiley.
Yeah, that's that great lady there. And it's just by having your Facebook account connected and then clicking one button to run the ad. It's all set by default. What she did was a default ad. There's also social media posts. Now, we just were talking about how do you connect social media for auto posting on your profile. Well, if you did that, all your listings would start auto posting to your social media accounts. So this isn't really, now you can do it manually. In this case, we need to connect an account. That's why these buttons are grayed out, but nothing's connected. So you can't do it manually, but it's better, I think, to let our automation do it, unless you just absolutely love clicking on buttons. But when we click on the eyeball here, we're showing you, this is where we're sending people. So when we auto post something on your social media, it looks cool. It's got a picture. It's got even some writing, and it says, hey, click here to find out more. And then they land here and they got to click continue with Facebook. And now you've got their name and email. And now you know you need to hit those people up every day, 3 to 4 times for 3 to 4 days each day. There's a tool to sell on seller social media. This is something that we email to you. And, you know, I can tell you this again, because we started this company 13 years ago. I know realtors don't like to read instructions. This give you pretty simple instructions, but nobody wants to read them, right? It's like, whatever. I don't know why, it's just what it is. All we're telling you to do is to forward that email to your client and call them for 5 seconds and ask them to put it on their wall. So imagine that I am the homeowner and Steven calls me and says, hey, I just sent you an email. I know you get 100 every day. Would you just copy and put that on your wall, paste that on your wall? Because we want as many offers as we can get. And one of your friends or family might be interested. And if somebody clicks on this, yeah, we're going to send them to a tool that is going to be looking for leads, right? But what's more important to you is if you like referrals, you're going to get referrals from your current clients, friends and family and colleagues, right? And let me tell you where they are usually sharing information with their friends and family and colleagues. It's on Facebook. And so this tool is telling your friends, your current clients, friends and family and colleagues that you are their realtor, okay? And that's really what you want to do. I know that a lot of you like to buy these really cool cutlery sets and leave them behind and maybe some kitchen magnets, but we think that having something on social media that doesn't disappear is going to be beneficial to you. If somebody clicks on that, they're going to get, they're going to land on a page that's going to really help you capture a lead. So when we send that email to you, I really recommend you just take like a glance and read it and forward it and call your client. This tool here, Nearby Homeowner Letter, is our #1 tool for getting listing leads that turn into listing contracts. So if you want more listings in your business, you need to get familiar with this letter. And I'm going to go into a little bit of detail. I think I'm downloading it. Yeah. If we go over here to the mastermind group, and I think I sent a link, so hopefully some of you are getting in there. Oh, Kim. Mastermind group. Okay, here's the PDF. It's opening up. All kinds of things moving at once. This is the letter. Okay, it's not really sexy. There is no artificial intelligence here. There's no algorithms. It says we have a home for sale in your area, and you can take this piece of paper inside your house and go find out your free home value, or not your free home value, but more about that home. And sorry, my little Alexa's bouncing in my face here. And then it says when that home is sold, that will affect your home value. So go here and go get your free home value. And now you recognize like, oh yeah, this is that core page that I was harping about. So that letter is the #1 tool, and we have many tools to capture listing leads. This does not generate the most, but these leads turn into business the fastest, okay? And I want to give you a example. Remember how I was talking about how to convert leads? That was really for buyer leads, but I'm going to give you an example right here of how to convert seller leads. And if you want seller leads, I don't know if you can see this on my screen here. There are a few names that you should look at in our mastermind group. One is Chris Winstead, one is Dustin Fox, and the other is Alicia Pless. Terry asked some questions, and that's good, but these 3, you will actually learn how to use that tool. And I'm going to focus on Chris right now because he gives a really awesome recipe of how to do this. So he came in the group a couple summers ago and says, hey, I got 5 listings in 3 months. And that was cool, right? And we were like, wow, okay, well, how did you do that, right? And he tells us pretty straightforward right here. And this is actually what I train people on. So I was like, oh, okay, he's just following the steps. And so hopefully you'll follow the steps. And this is what he's doing. He sends out a letter every other week to neighbors who've owned homes for 5 years or more. And once they opt in on the home valuation page, he hits them up every week with phone calls, bomb messages, letters via mail, and letters left at the door. Okay. So let's kind of dissect that a little bit, because if you can replicate this, this is going to work for you. He sends out a letter like this every 2 weeks. It might be on a home that's just listed. It might be one that's open house. It might be one that's just sold. Okay. Now, the funny thing for him is he didn't have any listings of his own, because what he didn't tell us here in this message is that he had just moved to his neighborhood in San Antonio, Texas. And he bought a home in a cool area. His wife is from there. His wife's family's there, and they got kids and all that. So he wants to move to San Antonio. But he's from another state. He just has real estate knowledge. And he comes in, joins this office, starts borrowing listings, and he goes and buys a list of homeowners in San Antonio, or in this neighborhood actually, that have had equity for 5 years or more. There are companies like, think RedX and HomeSnap and Remind that will get you that kind of list. You might even talk to your title partners and find that out. If you want listings in your business, get that list. Okay. And he mails a letter like this out every other week to the same list of homeowners that have equity, right? Now, he didn't have his own listings. He was borrowing listings to get this letter. And he was, like he says, phone calls, bomb, letters via mail, and letters left at the door. I'll show you the letters that he left at the door, and it'll start to kind of make some sense. I will tell you one thing about Chris is that from moving from out of state, he very quickly in the first year became the top listing agent in that office in San Antonio, Texas. The following winter, he started his own office, just busted out. And the very first thing he does is creates a YouTube channel for recruiting. And the first thing he says is, hey, here's how I customize their landing pages to get even better results. If you want listings, I definitely recommend that you check out that letter. I also recommend that you follow what Chris is saying. He's a smart guy. And he is definitely putting time in our system to get the most out of it. You might just want to kind of, piggyback on that. So let's see, I'm kind of lost over here. What were we talking about? Listings. Yeah, let's go back here. And we're running out of time, but I'll try to keep it brief. Here. So back on listings, we talked about the nearby homeowner letter. Here's an e-flyer for your database. So if you've got a CRM and you have hundreds or thousands of leads, here's the electronic version of that tool. So if your leads are not calling you, and setting appointments with you, maybe just copy this here and blast it out on your leads, right? It says I got something just listed on the top. If you click on that picture of that link, you're going to become a buyer lead. It also says that's going to affect your home value. And if you click on this or this, you know what's going to happen there, right? We create short form video scripts. If you are familiar with the social media, you might want to look into this. We create single property websites, virtual tours. We have luxury versions and we have lead gen versions. We do put a virtual tour on YouTube, as I mentioned. We have a whole open house marketing toolkit. If you market, we've got clients that market their homes on open house for like 5 days. They're generating 50, 70, 80 leads in just one open house. I recommend, you use the tools if you like those kinds of numbers. We have postcards, and on the front of every postcard is your URL to that website. On the back, just like that letter, is a link to get your free home value. So here with us, you can actually get an ROI on your print. You have text sign writers, I think, and so you can actually get a sign writer and text one number to the next. If you're a blogger, we've got blog posts that capture leads. Even Craigslist, and Craigslist, as wacky as it is actually great for lead gen. And there's QR code for every home. Just as an aside, just a little bit about QR codes. Ever since COVID, Americans are more familiar with realtors, and realtors are really excited, or they're more connected to these QR codes, and realtors are more excited about these. I just want you to understand one thing about QR codes. If you want buyers, use a QR code. That's going to work out really easy. If you want sellers, do not use a QR code. So whatever you're doing on the internet or in print, because this is really more print, if you're looking for buyers, go right ahead and use any QR code that you can think of or that we're providing. If you're looking for sellers, I don't recommend it. It's just the experience is different and you don't end up getting the leads there. So let's see. So that's listing marketing. We talked about PDF guides a few times, and here is where they are, right? And you might want to download these playbooks because they're going to tell you kind of the things you should do. What you should know is that there are 40 for buyers and there are 40 for sellers. And you are on every page of every one of these, okay? So if you go here, there's a little button and you can download it in English or in Spanish. And you remember when I was telling you that Chris Winstead story, and he was saying I was dropping off letters to convert, he was dropping off things at their home. He was dropping off a PDF guide every week, right? I want to remind you that the volume of leads from this kind of strategy is not like 50 leads. It might be 5 if you're lucky, but then you hone in on those people because they had to go through a lot to get their answer. You can also click this green button here and you got a short form video script. If you want to do a video to talk about, hey, go over here and download this report I made for you, that's what it's there. If you want to run an ad, you can run an ad right here. If you want to do social media posts, you can click right here, and there should be a picture over here, but again, that's not working. But don't forget that over here on social, I told you that we can post these automatically for you, so you don't even have to hit this. If you click on eFlyer for your database, this gives you a tool that you can copy and paste into your CRM, and it's all pre-written. It's got links in it, and now, if your leads are not really doing much, they're just getting dripped on and you're not talking to them, you've got tools that you can send out to them. There are print flyers, there are postcards and door hangers, and every one of these is driving to this page right here. It's a landing page, okay? And it has a quick video about why you need to download this report and that you need to give us your contact information to get that, right? And so definitely I recommend that you're using this whenever you can, and that's the PDF guides. So we've talked about listings, we've talked about PDF guides, talked about social and landing pages. There's one section that we haven't talked about, and that is ads. And I'm going to jump out of this account and I'm going to jump into another client's account on the other side of the country so we can just sort of see what ads look like. And guys, we got about 10 minutes here. So if you have questions, I recommend you put them in the little chat panel there. And then as soon as I'm done showing you ads, I'll answer those questions. Now, again, you want to go to your ad section over here on the left. And this group here, they have their Facebook ad connected. And they also have Google connected. And so you want to do that. And so I showed it to you what it looks like in your account. The first thing you see is connect to Facebook. In this account, because they're already connected, the first thing we're going to see is ad results, and we're also going to see all of their ads. So this company I launched in Halloween of last year, right, in 2022. And their goal is just to generate buyer leads for their team. All right, so they've run nearly 300 ads, 298. They spent about $28,000 in 7 or 8 months. And they have generated 9,000 buyer leads with name, email, and phone number. They haven't generated many seller leads because they're just not even interested in seller leads for some reason. But their focus is on getting buyer leads. And the thing I want to point out to all people. I think I've said it twice, I think. The fastest, cheapest, easiest way to get buyer leads is Facebook. But it's also a great place to build your brand. And I don't know how long all of you have been realtors. I'm sure you've got some years, and I'm sure there's some newer people. And I don't really even know in your area how many realtors there are, but I'm just going to take a broad swing and say there's 3,000, maybe 5,000 realtors in your area that you're competing with. So if somebody is going and doing a Google search and trying to find realtors, do you even get on page 5, right? If you're on page 5, it's not even worth being on the internet. The point of this is when you're running ads, you see this 2 million impressions in 7 months. Their business pages on Facebook have been seen over 2 million times in, I guess it's 8 months. And that is another really great thing about Facebook is you can actually build your brand identity with your business page because you're sponsoring all these ads, okay? From Facebook, you can run a listing ad here. You can run a landing page ad, and we've talked about landing pages, and we can do PDF guide ads. So let's go to PDF guides because we were just looking, those might kind of follow that train of thought. Again, we got 40 for buyers, 40 for sellers. You can download them yourself and read them, but if you just want to say, hey, I want to create an ad to get out in my market, leave it on lead ads so that we get pre-populated name, email, and phone number from their profiles and click create an ad. And when you're doing a PDF guide, you do need to type in the name of the town, right? And is that how you spell Colorado? Yeah. So if you type in this here, you can expand the radius if you want. It's a $50 ad and it's 7 days long. So you can't spend more than 50 bucks. Now, the thing is, and I don't know if you know about Facebook ads, it's kind of pay per click advertising. And what that means is every time somebody clicks and they give you a lead, Facebook chews off a portion of your 50 bucks. So you can't spend more than 50, but if they're charging $10 a lead and there's $50, you're only going to get 5 leads, okay? So every time you get a lead, they chew off part of that 50 bucks. All you got to do is click publish, and that's going to work, okay? You can also create landing page ads. And when you create a landing page ad, probably the one that a lot of people like to do, a lot of people like to try new construction. I don't know if you have new construction in your area. I do want to kind of caution you that people don't, I think typically speaking, people don't think of new construction first. Meaning, if I want to buy a home in Colorado Springs, I'm probably thinking of price first, right? What can I afford? And, if it's brand new, cool. There are probably, I would say, less than 5% of the market, and I'm just pulling that number out of the air, that actually I want a brand new home. I do not want anything that was built 10 years ago or whatever, or 50 years ago, right? So this might work for that like that, but there are things that I've been reading that are kind of like pretty compelling for new construction. And that is that you can get a home for like 5% mortgage, right? Like, because builders are kind of freaking out in some markets. And so I don't know if that's what's going on in your market, but you can change these to make them work. You can also customize these. A lot of our realtors will say, hey, they'll go to a developer and say, I see you have a bunch of units coming online. Can I market those? Can I take some pictures? Can I, do advertising and bring buyers? And they're like, sure, of course, right? So you can kind of do that as well. But the other, and probably the one that realtors like, the ad that realtors like to run the most on Facebook is, what is your home worth? And these leads, free home values, I got one here for Raleigh. These ads are kind of tricky. They don't work very well in everybody's markets. And I don't know about your market, but I don't think they would work well there as well without you doing something unique. And what it is And I talk about it in my class, and you're going to get an email with this call. And it's also going to have a link to our YouTube channel, and it's going to say Google Ads and top tools for more listings. And I talk about this in all of them. This ad, because you cannot target homeowners in less than 15-mile radius, is going to have an overspray. People outside of Colorado Springs are going to see this, and it's not going to work very well because of that. So there is a way to create a custom audience and retarget those leads. You just need to ferret that out. And if you want to create a custom audience, you'll see when you connect Facebook, it's going to say accept custom audience terms and then accept retargeting terms. You will be able to say, okay, let's create a list of leads of homeowners in Colorado Springs, and let's create another list of homeowners in Denver, and so on, right? Wherever you are kind of working. And then when you're running ads to target those homeowners, you're targeting them specifically. You're not letting Facebook's non-targeting ruin your ads. So you can run listing ads, landing page ads, and PDF guide ads. One thing that's worth noting is you can see down here what's going on. And actually, like here, it says they got 16 leads. They're paying $5.35 per lead. So if that ad is like 35 bucks, actually they put $150 here, and they spent nearly 85 bucks, 16 leads, 3,400 people have seen it. Our default settings for ads are $35 for buyer ads and $50 for seller ads. As I said, these guys have a unique goal, and that is to make sure all of their agents have enough buyers to talk to. So they've got a different program going here, right? We also have this here. Stop here. And I want to point it out. I don't know if you have it, but I want to kind of mention this. Let me refresh this page. Facebook is awesome and for lead capture. You can even capture good quality seller leads, right? Listing leads. But the difference from Facebook to Google is that Americans spend 40 minutes every day scrolling through Facebook, right? They're looking at the news feed. They're looking at what their friends are eating. They're looking at what they're vacationing on. They're looking at pictures of their grandkids, all that stuff. And that's cool. That means people look here 40 minutes every day. And if you lob up an ad about your open house or something just listed, you have the likelihood of somebody seeing and go, oh yeah, you know what? I'm interested in that. I want to check out that open house, right? But when people have questions in the world, they don't go to Facebook and say, hey, where's the best hotel in Miami, and where's the best steak in New York, and how do I sell my home? They don't go ask that question on Facebook. They ask it on this page right here. 86% of all searches on the internet occur on this website, the #1 website in the world. Now, I don't know if you have it, if we've added it to your account, but you have the ability to run ads on Google with either PDF guide ads or landing pages. I totally recommend. And it's pretty easy. Now, I don't know if you've ever run an ad on Google, like literally inside Google. It's horrible. It's horrible. If you're not techie, don't even bother. It's not going to work. But if you want to run an ad on Google with our software, you type in the name of the town and you click publish. And you obviously have to create a landing page, and you know that you got to put something that's resonant, and that's from the local art gallery in Raleigh. So if you had to do it inside Google, if you click on advanced options here, you can look at all this fun stuff that we're doing automatically for you. You're going to have to do this all manually. And one way or another, if you want listings in your business, you should be running listing ads on Google, because that's where you're going to get very high quality listing leads. You don't need to click on advanced options if you're using our stuff. But if you're going to go do it by hand, you can even, you're going to have to do that all by hand. But that's kind of my story, right? Google is awesome. Do I already have negative words already baked in? No. Do you mean like block people out? Or do you mean that I have negative words baked in my brain?
Negative keywords like if you're gonna do a search for homes for sale in Colorado Springs, and then somebody searches using a keyword that is not relevant, and you end up paying for those leads. So
Oh,
negative keywords in. I was just curious if you guys add negative keywords.
I don't think so. I don't think in
Search for
the
this,
API, if we click here, this is in advanced options. I just don't know if we get that option. Right.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. I don't even think that there. Yeah. Clicks. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see it. That's why I asked. I just curious.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Sometimes it's limited, even though it's simpler, it doesn't do everything that you can. Yeah.
Okay.
So everybody, that's kind of my story for today. Do you have any other questions? Well, you know about our YouTube channel, you know about our group, our mastermind group. This call is recorded. I'm going to be sending it to Carrie later on today. And take the time to learn. I think you're going to get a huge ROI on the time that you invest to learn how to use this system. It's not that complicated, to be honest. It's just we do so much that it's kind of freaky. Sorry, print up a couple of those playbooks, and that will help you out. Okay, I think it just help remind you, and then you'll know. Like you may not do everything that I showed you here today, but I think if you pick a handful of tools, you're going to be your business is going to benefit from it. You're going to see it. So good luck with everything. Let us know if we need to have another call. I'm happy to help. Thanks for having me here today, everybody. And I hope this helps you out. And I didn't mention it enough. We have an awesome support team down here on the bottom left, and they're super responsive. So click there, put your questions in that box. Everybody watches it, and they're great. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye, everyone.